Om. Sairam. Just to recap what we were discussing last week, I think Arjuna basically raises the doubt with Krishna that Krishna, the mind is so powerful that it is not possible for common man to be able to control. And how can we achieve success? I think that was the doubt raised by Arjuna, and all of us were very happy that he did so. And then Krishna counters, saying that anything in this world through regular practice and vairagya and with our faith in the Lord, we should be able to achieve. I think that those were the words of Krishna, if I remember correctly. I think we'll continue from there on and see what said Saira.
Sairam. The Lord broke into a smile on hearing these words. Arjuna, you have described the mind and known its nature very well, but it is not an impossible task. The mind can be mastered, however difficult the task might be. By systematic practice, abhyasa, and by relentless inquiry, vichara, and detachment, vairagya, the mind can be mastered. There is no task that cannot be accomplished by steady practice. Place faith in the Lord and practice with the certainty that you have the power and the grace, and all tasks become easy. Therefore, whoever enters upon this sadhana, spiritual practice, with determination will attain the supreme goal, available only for souls transmuted through several births. Remember, the person who has achieved yoga is superior to the person who is the master of ritual karma. So strive, O Arjuna, to become a yogi, to attain that high and holy status. But this is not all you have to do. There is a status higher than even this. Whoever fixes his entire consciousness in me, whoever earnestly meditates on me to the exclusion of everything else, he is superior to all. He is a Mahayogi.
Thank you very much, sister. I will just open it up for discussion because we had covered a little bit. So if anyone has something to share, please do so.
Sai Ramaruna.
Sai Ramanji.
This is what I understood from all these 2 pages. Those are very important. Baba says all sadhakas who start do not reach the goal. That is first point. Second point, he says we have to have lots of faith in the Lord and practice regularly without any disturbance. Then third one, he says, it's not available for all the souls unless they are Lord has to bless them. Then next one, this is always where Krishna has said it, whoever fixes his entire consciousness in me, whoever earnestly meditates on me to the exclusion of everything else, he is superior to all. He is a Mahayogi. Then the other one that I understood is you have to have lots of devotion, prema, and you have to understand. How do you get that? You have to understand the Lord's Svabha, essential quality, and the Swarupa. You have to know each point of his Swarupa. Then you will develop automatically that prema. And then the Lord has to teach us the Shastras, the full wisdom of Shastras, and supplemented by the wisdom of inner experience. So in my little knowledge, I think Baba has done all that for all of us. We are so blessed. This is what I understand. Now we have to continue doing it regularly and develop the prema within us so that we can get inner experience. Thank you, Sairam. This is what I understood from these 2 pages. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Thank you for summarizing. Anyone else?
You're welcome.
Anyone else would like to share anything?
Sairam, does abhyasa just mean like our spiritual practice? Like,
Yes, that's my understanding, Kalyani. Means whatever, even controlling the mind or any sadhana, whatever we have taken up, I think through whichever step we are in or whichever stage we are in, I think we have to keep on continuing the practice without giving room for doubt, is what I understand. Anyone else has something to comment? I think if not, can we move on, read further?
Dhyana Yoga and Jnana Yoga both are inner disciplines. They are based on Shraddha, faith, and Bhakti, devotion. Without these two, they are both unattainable. The pursuit self is vain. A sadhaka deprived of them is as a wooden door, lifeless, unaware of the goal. The basic requisite is deep-rooted prema towards the Lord. How can you get this? By getting to know the glory, the splendor, the nature and characteristics of the Lord, his swabha, which is essential quality, and swarupa, reality. That is why I am now instructing you about these. I'm imparting to you fully the wisdom of the Shastras, supplemented by the wisdom of inner experience. Know that there is nothing further for you to know. Of the thousands of aspirants, there are few who strive to acquire this jnana, wisdom. And of these, only one single individual achieves success. All who start do not reach the goal.
Thank you very much, sister. So Swami is continuing on to, I think, encourage us and also guide us. And is assuring that he has taught whatever we need to know. There's nothing further for us to know. So I thought those are some points which we can discuss if anyone has them.
Sairam.
Sairam, Auntie.
So, Dhyana Yoga and Jnana Yoga are both, of course, it is inner discipline, spiritual sadhana. which one can do, but he has to have that bhakti, prema, what Shakuji told. It's bhakti, it is devotion. Now all the three margas, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavan is teaching us to attain our ultimate goal. So the basic requisite is prema. Bhakti is important towards the Lord. In other words, it is prema, you can call it. So Swami is trying to tell us that one step by step. First he said Karma Yoga, then he said Dhyana is better, and then Jnana is better. But now he's saying that Bhakti is also most important. Almost all the three yogas which Bhagavan is introducing here. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Thank you. Anyone else has something to say?
Sairam, I think we maybe discussed it already, but if you can recap, because Swami's saying to get prema towards the Lord, you need to know his swabhava and swarupa. Can you recap again what is swabhava versus swarupa?
I think Swabhava is just nature, the real nature of the Lord. And Swarupa is form, and which also can say real form. But his own form or his own nature. I think that's what he says. And I don't know whether I answered your question, but anyway, I will ask others to. Auntie, Mani Auntie, you want to comment, Auntie? Please. You have to unmute and speak, Auntie.
Swabhava and Swarupa. As you said, it is the nature of Bhagavan. How to understand the nature of Bhagavan? It is by studying some scriptures only we come to know what Bhagavan is, what God is. And the Swarupa, of course, the Sakara Swarupa we can't see, and only Nirakara Swarupa we can think of by studying all the nature of, essential nature of Bhagavan. Then we can form a kind of rupa, or you can form a kind of akara to that particular gunas, and then we can meditate upon it. I think that's what I have understood.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. Yes, Brother Dasan.
Yes, Sairam, brother. I'd like to add to Auntie's point too. Even yesterday, we studied about God's reality. That's Aishwarya, splendor, fame, and spiritual wealth, and his knowledge and detachment. These are the qualities of the God. So we, in our family life too, we have to understand the partners. Then only we can continue our life very successful and happily, and we can gain the love. Same way, in order to God is love. In order to attain the love, we have to understand the reality, whatever the 6 qualities. Then we can merge with him. We can attain his love. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Anyone else would like to comment?
Saraman, I just wanted to ask in the first part where Mani Aunty explained as well, right? Bhakti Yoga, in order to have Bhakti Yoga, you have to have faith also. And Bhakti is love. And without those two, Swami is saying you cannot attain the inner discipline, which is Dhyana Yoga and Jnana Yoga. So in order to kind of, is it like a step by step? So first you have faith, then bhakti, and then dhyana, and then jnana. Is it like one above the other, or if you could explain the relationship of each other? I thought these are 3 separate margas, right? But or looks like they're kind of intertwined. So if you don't mind, I know it's a very basic question just to understand that.
A very nice question. I will open it up for others to share first. Yes, Brother Dasan, please go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, there's a last previous one. Okay,
I so
sorry.
sorry.
That's fine. So, in order to achieve the goal, there are 8 yogas. The important one is Dhyana Yoga and Jnana Yoga. And the Bhakti, without the Bhakti and faith, you cannot achieve, you cannot do the Dhyana or Jnana Yoga. So those are the 2 important things that we have to develop through the sadhana, the faith and the bhakti. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Any?
Sairam, I don't know.
Yes, Auntie.
This is regarding the Swarupa. So we know Bhagavan's form and the way he conducted himself. He always said, "My life is my message," and the way he conducted and how the students experience, the more experiences the students have, they are sharing with us all those from with knowing the form qualities and Swarupa qualities, then you apply to the formless entity of Swami, Parabrahma Swarupa. So we have to know with the form you have to connect, and knowing that you have to reach to the formless. I don't know whether this is right, my assumption. Can you correct me if I'm wrong? Thank you, Saira.
Saira, thank you very much, Auntie. I think you posed a question as well, but I will ask others to comment. Anyone else would like to share your thoughts, please?
These 3 yogas which Swami has mentioned here may not be taking step by step as I use the word, but for some, Dhyana Yoga can be a better path for according to his nature, the inherent nature of a person. Dhyana Yoga is much better. Or some can do Dhyana also, and some can do only Karma. So, and some can do Bhakti only. So these 4 paths are there before us. We can choose according to the temperament of a person's nature, then he can take up these paths. But ultimate goal is to reach Bhagavan. But Swami is saying here, without Shraddha and Bhakti, this Dhyana Yoga and Jnana Yoga may not work out for us. It's a pursuit itself in vain, says. If I'm wrong, please correct me.
Saira, Auntie. Anyone else has something to add? Well, maybe I will go if others. No one has volunteered. So I think others have already spoken, but I think the question was from Narmada. What do we work on first? That type of question. But I think she also provided the answer, which is she said it's intertwined. So the reality, I think there are a couple of other places where Swami has spoken about it. Because what happens is actually everything in this world starts with faith. Without faith, nothing in this world starts. But the thing is, for the faith to come, there has to be love also. Because both germinate together. Swami gives the example of a mother and a child. The child has total faith in the mother. But how does the child have total faith in the mother? Because the child loves the mother. Because the mother has been loving. So the thing is, actually, both of them sprout together, but we may not even realize which one preceded which. Number one. Number two, Swami will say, you have faith, and because of that, the love grows. You have love, because of that, the faith grows. So it's intertwined, as you said. It's back and forth, back and forth. until they all become very strong. So at some point, the faith also will be unshakable, the love also will be unshakable. But I think they complement each other and they support each other until they grow. That's my understanding. And there are a couple of places where Swami, there are nice discourses on this Swami has spoken about. So the thing is, when we start out, we help one to supplement the other. And over a period of time, both will become stronger. But Swami, as you can see, Swami has mentioned both of them together because they are twins. Swami always says, there are two banks under which everything should flow. Shraddhavan Lavate Jnanam. I don't think we have discussed that sometime back. The two banks under which someone flows. On one side there should be Shraddha, on the other side there should be love. Okay. So effort and Shraddha both are needed, and they are like two banks which direct the flow of love towards God. And that's my understanding. I think somebody raised, Sister Vijaya, Sairam, Sister Vijaya, please go ahead.
Sairam, it's nice to hear all of yours. I am reminded that, when we all look back at how we knew Swami or got to know, or Swami pulled us into or appeared in our fold, every one of us have those memories, right? And I'm thinking back, Swami has to grant grace. That's number one. Grace to have full faith, but the niggling faith that you think, is there something here, something that caught your attention? And I think it's the faith. These are different levels of bhakti, right? When I look at the bhakti also, there, as you mature, there's a mature bhakti. There's a mature faith. Faith in what? Not just faith in God. Oh yes, you can be in a religious family and everything is God, but the faith that everything that happens to me or all of us is divine, orchestrated. That faith, that unquenchable faith, is the pathway, is the rungs of a ladder for me. I'm just saying for me that Swami is my guru. Everything, even all the calamities, challenges, the good things, everything, not a leaf can move without his say-so. So that level of unshakable faith is it's born out of the fire of all the trials and tribulations in life. It doesn't come easy. That's why he's saying, there are thousands, but holding on to his teachings, he says what? Namasmarana, bhajan singing, kirtanam, Vishnu Sahasranamam, it's all the dasyam, sakyam, it's all the parts of devotion, the 9 parts of devotion. As you start looking into the reality of who he really is, and he says, don't bother to understand me. You cannot understand me. I'm beyond. So when Auntie Saku Auntie said that, you don't bother to understand him. But as humans, I know I'm curious to know why these things are happening and what it is in the world, right? And Swami's teachings, it's like when you question Swami, that understanding somehow or the other, it may be weeks, it may be months, it may be even years, but when the answer comes. That is the answer to the question I have. So that Shraddha and Bhakti, where I'm going with this long-winded statement is like, there are levels. You have to mature into it. And Swami's teachings, you may not even understand it, totally confusing. But as the level of, dedication you have, I really want to know what this is, Swami, and who you really are, and he says, I'm love. And even understanding that word love, it doesn't make sense at some level. So the point is, just love God and understanding the faith that everything that happens to you has a reason, and trust that he's going to take care of you no matter what. Sairam, thank you.
Thank you very much, sister. Thank you. Anyone else has something to comment?
Oh, Sairam, you know the sentence after it says, "That is why I am now instructing you about these. I am imparting to you fully the wisdom of the Shastras." So when Swami's saying I'm instructing you about these, is he referring to the Shastras?
Yeah, it means, Shastra is whatever he has already stated. He's again repeating the same message, I guess, So that's the way I understand. But anyone else? Any specific question you have, Kalyani, other than that?
I guess the next part was the second part of that sentence where it says supplemented by the wisdom of inner experience. So is Krishna saying, I'm giving you this knowledge and I also have that experience, so I'm giving you this knowledge with my experience? Or is he saying that I'm going to give Arjuna this experience?
Yeah, very nice question. My understanding is that he is capable of imparting that inner experience. Okay, it is not only the mother who feeds, the mother who makes it digest. I think that's what I understand. And that's the advantage of a guru. Swami says there can be many gurus, but the real guru, the Sadguru, is someone, not only he can give you the knowledge, but he can also make you understand, have that experience. That's my understanding, but I will ask others to comment as well. Saira,
Thank you, Aruna.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Aruna.
Saira.
That's a very good answer, because anything and everything has to come from him, his grace. Thank you, Saira.
Mani Auntie, you wanted to say something?
The question that Narmada asked, is that all the four parts?
Sorry. Oh,
sorry. Okay. No, all the four parts which we just mentioned, they are all interconnected, I know. But is there a way to practice one by one, or can we go on adapting all the four parts together? That's the question which you have to explain.
But Auntie, you have asked me to explain something.
Yeah, that's what I was trying. No, the first I said, no, it is all step by step. Then I said, no, these four parts are before us.
Yes.
Anybody can take up any yoga, Dhyana yoga, Gnana yoga, or Bhakti yoga, Karma yoga, and try to reach the goal. But is there any particular way of reaching, taking first Karma yoga, or taking Dhyana yoga, or only Bhakti yoga only? So can we have all together, or one by one we should be practice?
I think very nice question, Auntie. But I think, see, in one place, I think a couple of discourses of Swami where he has described this. He says, you take a flower. The flower is beautiful to look at. The flower has a nice smell, and you can feel the touch of the flower, which is soft, nice. All this is flower. So sadhana is also has all three qualities. You have to have the knowledge. You should be able to meditate and be centered, and you should have love. But I think we can taste, because the way we are designed, we can only taste one thing at a time. When you're looking at the flower, you only look at the flower and you enjoy it. Then you smell. When you're smelling, you may not be able to see it properly. So I think sadhana has actually all three sides. But we may not realize, or we may not have the maturity to see all of them at the same time. So Swami would say, actually, these margas are not separate. They're different facets of the same sadhana, but we may not understand. But he says, you just focus on one thing, the other two will come along. Swami also uses this analogy, in a three-wheeler, you can put jnana as the front wheel or bhakti as the front wheel, but the other two will be coming along. That's also another analogy he has given. And as you already nicely said, it all depends what our swabhava, our own swabhava is, and what we naturally are attracted to. If we are attracted to the looks, which is good, but the smell and the touch will come along, but we can just focus on the look. So same way, I think we can focus on one marga, but we cannot follow that by neglecting the other two, or by completely discarding the other two. We cannot follow a path, is my understanding. I hope I explained what I understand reasonably okay. Sairam, Sister Vijaya, you have something to say.
I thank you for this, Mani Aunty and Brother Aruno, Sister Nirmata's question. The thing that blocks me from understanding deeper what this reality, the Swarupa, is my thoughts, my thinking, all polluted, right? Cannot understand, don't know, can't stop this racing mind. I think the first thing Swami has always said, that this Kali Yuga, that mind is the wandering mind. You have to bring the mind first. The mind is in control of the senses. Once the mind is quiet, then the wisdom from within, the essential quality, the divine quality, the Swabhava can come out. The divine wisdom can come out. So it's controlling I'll use mine, controlling my unruly mind with a japa or bhajans, or, and Swami said, there was a beautiful saying, I don't know, we posted it out, that anything that you do, sing bhajans. Whole day, just cooking, the food will taste much better. You're sweeping the house or you clean the house, put a bhajan on. Whatever you're doing, put a bhajan on. Put Namasmarana on. Gayatri, Sai Gayatri, and some of us are doing the 10 rounds or 10 japamalas of Sai Gayatri every day. I've always found that practice very useful, especially when the inner tendencies, the greed, jealousy, pride, attachment are coming. The Namasmarana will just keep it quiet. And then the inner Swami's guidance is always there. So what is stopping it? When you ask the question, Mani Aunty, so what is stopping us from doing anything? The unruly mind, the senses going all over the place where it's not supposed to go. And Swami has a medicine for that, right? So practicing his medicine, his sadhana, is what? Controlling the mind, control the senses. Then you can see, oh my God, it's Swami's guidance is here, right now here. And each step of the way, he's believing, having the Shraddha, that he's taking care of it. See, if you tell Swami, I have a difficult time, I like sweets. I like sweets, and I'm not supposed to take so much of sweets. And say, Swami, this has not gone away. What are you going to help me to do? And if you just pray fervently to him, he gives you people, situations to help you with that. And always, when you ask him directly, say, Swami, what to do? And that's why the sadhanas are useful, to recognize the help when it comes, because sometimes the help is here and it takes you weeks or months or days. Says, oh my God, Swami already gave me the help. I didn't recognize it. What is the culprit? My mind and the unruly senses. So sadhanas are very, very, very important on our path. Saira, thank you.
Thank you very much, sister. Yes, Brother Dasan.
Yes. So, Sairam, brother. So according to the yoga, here some people go to Dhyana Yoga, some people go Jnana Yoga, some people go to Karma Yoga. Here, the Arjuna is selected the Karma Yoga. So when you are in the Karma Yoga, you have to follow whatever God saying. Without you are not supposed to accept the fruit of the action. And when you do the duty, that you are doing the God's work, and you will attain the self-realization. So this is my understanding. Thank you, Saira.
Sairam, brother. I think the key term is yoga. Yoga actually means union. Karma is not just action, because as brother already said, you offer it to the Lord. That means you should love the Lord. You have devotion. So the word yoga means everything is united, contained in it.
Yeah.
But if it's karma, you do the karma with yoga. If you bhakti also, you have to do with yoga. That means action and knowledge also should be part of it.
Offering
I
to
think
the
the key word here is yoga. Everything is attached to yoga. That's why. Thank you very much, brother.
Sairam, I think, sorry, go ahead, Auntie.
These Telugu sentences, can I read it now?
Yes, Auntie. Yes.
శ్రద్ధా భక్తి పూర్వకమైనప్పుడే ఈ యోగమునకు విలువ కానీ లేకున్న కొయ్య బొమ్మ వంటిది. దట్ వి ఆర్ జస్ట్ ఎ వుడెన్ డాల్, వుడెన్ కొయ్య బొమ్మ. వీటికన్నిటికంటే భగవంతునిపై ప్రేమ గాఢంగా ఉండవలను. ద డివోషన్ టువర్డ్స్ లార్డ్ మస్ట్ బి వెరీ వెరీ స్ట్రాంగ్. అదే భక్తి. ఇటువంటి భక్తి స్థిరముగా కలుగుటకు భగవంతుని గుణగణములు, స్వభావ స్వరూపములు, పరిచయము మొదలగు వాటిని తెలుసుకొనవలెను. అందుకనే మునుముందు స్వరూప స్వభావాలను గూర్చి నీకు తెలుపుచున్నాను. విను. అనుభవ జ్ఞానముతో కూడిన శాస్త్ర జ్ఞానమును నీకు పూర్తిగా చెప్పతలంచి తిని. ఐ వాంటెడ్ టు టీచ్ యూ దిస్. దీనిని తెలుసుకున్న తరువాత నువ్వు తెలుసుకొనవలసింది మరి ఏమీ లేదు. So Swami is telling us here, Bhagavantani gunaganamulo, the various infinite qualities of Bhagavan, and Swabhava, Swarupa, and then experience, Parichayam. These are all very important. So I am teaching you this first so that you can move on this path. That's what Swami is trying to tell here. So Shastra Gnanamunu Niku Purtiga Chepatalichitini. To know the glory of Lord, I have taught you the Shastra Gnana.
Completely.
Yeah, he is imparting this knowledge through the wisdom of Shastras. So one can come to know about the Lord's, the nature and the characteristics of the Lord is only through learning the wisdom of the Shastras. Sairam.
Sairam, thank you.
Sairam, Auntie. Can we go into...
Oh, Aruna. Welcome.
Sairam.
Welcome.
Auntie, shall we go into little more detail on that by getting to, to have the deep-rooted prema towards Lord? How can we get this? By knowing his glory, splendor, nature, and characteristic of the Lord, right? So glory, you are saying by we can gain with knowing the Shastras. And how we are going to, how can we go into details of how we can see the splendor, nature, and characters of the Lord, Swava, quality, Swarupa. Swarupa, we said there's no, what is that really meant? Because there's no Rupa sometimes. We say name and Rupa is important, but one point we say there's no Rupa. So I just wanted to understand a little more on that. So shall we discuss a little more on those?
Here is the reality, the original reality of Bhagavan. What is his real nature? That is Swarupa. And Swabhava, of course, we can learn only through study of the Shastras. As earlier he said, Aishwarya, Sampattu, and then Virya, and all those qualities which we have learned as for Bhagavan, the 6 qualities of Bhagavan, which always we study. So beyond that, I don't know, anything else can be understood by.
What is meant by getting to know the glory here? We know God is looking after us. That's the glory they're talking about. Is there anything else?
I think Arun can answer this question.
I was just thinking, what is that? Everything was listed here.
Splendor is Aishwaryam.
Yeah, and is Aishwaryam, the characteristic, characteristic of the Lord. What is that really defined by? Just Swami has said of all these things, try to understand.
No, the 6 qualities of Bhagavan, I think, which the word Bhagavan, Kirti, Aishwarya, and then Viryam, and I forgot.
Yashas.
Right.
Yashas.
Sriya.
Yashas Jnana
Sriya.
Vairagya.
Yeah.
Yashas Jnana Vairagya.
Sriya is spiritual wealth.
Shri.
Yeah, Sriya.
So those are the qualities which. Anything else, Arun, we can add to it?
I think as Swami says, his qualities are infinite.
Infinite qualities.
Okay, so, but there's the important ones, so the key ones, they sort of collectively educate us what it is. I think Sister Aruna's question is, which guna, why should we know the gunas? I think she's asking. He has gone to Gunatita stature. Or Rupa Varjita, the God is without form.
There is no form.
I think, see, God has qualities. God has forms also. It is just that we cannot limit him to one form or one quality. So that is until we understand that, we will not understand Swabhava. See, Swabhava sometimes we think is all good, what our senses like and what is all pleasant. But you will see, and the unpleasant is also me. Okay. The unpleasant is only to our physical or the body or the mind. So the thing is, what we see around in the world is itself is his gunas. All are his forms. But the problem is we don't see it as God's form. And that is the experience which Krishna gave Arjuna. When after he explained everything, he gave him the Vishwarupa Darshana, and Arjuna said, I can't take it.
Yeah.
So, see, that is the experience. The experience of divinity is inner experience. It's not an outer experience. I think that's what I understand, Sister Aruna.
What did you say, brother? One word, inner.
The experience is always inner.
Yes.
Atmic
For that, we have to have the faith and devotion.
So gradually, we will learn to appreciate the divinity everywhere, and we will be able to see the Lord in everything. That is the real Lord.
So that is the reality.
That's the reality.
Okay.
So sometimes we think Swabhava means all good things, very pleasant, and it's very nice, which is okay. But the thing is, because that is true, but the mind should not be the decider of what is good, what is bad. Once I think that's the inner experience. The inner experience is even beyond the mind.
Beyond the mind.
Good, thank you.
Yes, that's my understanding. Anyway, the mind is only speaking actually now. But Sister Vijaya, please go ahead.
I think that's a very valid question to ask, Staruna. How do you know the splendor of God? And Swami has given us the way to listen to his stories, his miracles, So reading constantly about what Swami has, his life. For me, it's his life, the Satyam Shivam Sundaram, his form, that big book, and the miracles in his life demonstrate, the glory and the splendor and so much more. And you look at it and you're amazed. And Krishna was more than 5,000 years ago. yes, you can listen. And there's a book, Krishna and his Leela, 6 volumes, the stories of Krishna. And it's beautiful story. So whatever it is, the splendor of God, whichever avatar you're taking, and we have our avatar here, it sort of increases our bhakti, increases my bhakti when I read about his miracles in his life, what he said and what is true, what happened, because we have evidence here. So I think that will increase your bhakti and your shraddha, that there is God and he came here. And to improve on that, constant reading, constant understanding, dhyana, is concentrating, contemplation, and then meditating on it. Not just, it's a story, I saw a movie. No, you have to bring it to your heart. What is this about? So Saira, thank you.
The splendor that you perceive in nature, the glory, take for example, sunrise and sunset, the colors, the 5 elements of nature which are constantly presenting before us, the beauty of nature, that itself is his glory. I find you can witness that glory and splendor in the nature itself. Sairam.
Sairam, Auntie, does it say, in the English it says by getting to know the glory? Like, does it say the same in Telugu?
Madam Auntie, I think you had to unmute and speak.
Sairam,
Okay.
Sairam, I want to know all this splendor, all this glory, everything, it comes with your experience. You have to experience it and you have to understand it, enjoy it. That comes with your experience. It cannot be brought with words or books or anything. You can read, but that has to come with your experience. That is more important. Thank you.
Kalyani,
Yes, Auntie.
you wanted to know what?
You know how in English it's saying, how can you get the deep-rooted prema? By getting to know the glory, the splendor. Does it say that in Telugu, the same sentence?
That word I don't think we have here translated. I don't think so. How can you get this? By getting to know the Lord. The basic requisite is deep-rooted prema towards the Lord. Yeah, and then Shraddha and Bhakti.
Auntie, you read it before.
By getting to know the glory, splendor, and the nature and characteristics of the Lord, his Swabhava and Swarupa. That's why I'm now instructing you about these. I don't think it is there in Telugu.
See, I think, Auntie, that the line,
Sentence.
Ituvanti bhakti, sthiramuga.
స్థిరకుమగా గల్గుటకు భగవంతుని గుణగణములు స్వభావ స్వరూపములు పరిచయము మొదలగు వాటిని తెలుసుకొనవలెను.
So that's why, I think they have taken that broken it into two. So Kalyani, the Swami, I think what Swami is saying is, for it to be deep, sthiramuga, galgutaku, Auntie, that's the question he's asking.
Yeah.
So Swami is saying for it to become a steady and firm and deep-rooted. Okay. For that, this is essential, Swami is saying. It's in one sentence, but not necessarily in 3 sentences and a question. Okay. I think it's covered in that. Ituvanti, like this kind of bhakti, sthiramuga. Okay.
This kind of bhakti, this kind of shraddha, or devotion.
And it says, by you have to know it. Is that the word Swami used? You have to know the swabhava and the
Swarupa. Know the swabhava. Telusukonavalenu. You have to know.
You have to know.
Brother, I think I'm just saying, because Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, underneath of that, it says these are inner disciplines. And as brother, as Sakwanti said, it's kind of experience only. You can feel this glory, splendor, and thing. So by getting to know, by getting your experience only, you can understand the glory. I think instead of know, but outside world you cannot get all these things. By experiencing the glory, splendor, the characteristic only, I would say like that. Thank
It's
you.
always experiential knowledge only is the real knowledge.
Instead of no, by reading, no, I think that's not what history refers. I think it's experience.
Yeah.
Sister Swami is telling, you need to know the Shastras first. Okay, first you should know, but just knowing is not good enough. You need to have the inner experience. But he says, I can give both of them. See, he says, I am imparting to you fully the wisdom of Shastras, supplemented by the wisdom of inner experience, which is what in Telugu also Swami says. I think Auntie read it. Anubhava jnanamuto kudina Shastra jnanamu. That is, Shastra jnana which is enjoined by inner experience. Your own experience will be granted by me. That's what Auntie said.
Ama. అనుభవ జ్ఞానముతో కూడిన శాస్త్ర జ్ఞానమును నీకు పూర్తిగా చెప్ప తలంచితిని. I wanted to.
I have decided.
Yeah.
You know, I have decided
To tell you.
Impart you fully. Purtiga means completely. I am going to give you the Shastra Jnana which is combined with Anubhava.
Guna Gana means like multiple gunas or something like that?
Yeah. Infinite number of gunas, qualities.
And what is Parichaya, you said?
Familiarity.
Parichayam is to
familiarity.
Familiarize.
Oh, so you have to become familiar with the gunas and the
gunas.
Yeah, to become familiar with God.
Oh, okay.
See, you get to know him well. Or her also, get to know her or him, whichever way people want to see, or get to know it, whichever works for people they can take. But Swami says you need to become familiar. You need to get to know him intimately. Parichayam is intimate knowledge of something is parichaya. Sariya, Auntie? My translation.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, that's right. Thank you. That's the good clarification.
Okay, Sai, I think Sai Satish, you can go.
Yes, Saramana, just adding to what you were saying, like we know about that Jnatum, Drashtum, and Praveshtum. So, Jnatum meaning to know, Drashtum meaning to see, and Praveshtum meaning to enter or become one with. So, in that context, when we have these Shastras and all of these, out of just reading something like, for example, Swami's Bhagawan Vahini or something like that, the love that the devotee had for the Lord or the Lord of the devotee, that and all of those incidents that are captured itself leaves us in awe of that glory, of that splendorous form. And once we are in awe of that form and we feel that urge to connect the way like those devotees connected, and we strive towards this. So having that reverence and moving ahead with that faith will grant us that experience of what was experienced possibly by others in their own unique way, which we will experience in our own unique way as well. And with that, so having, of course, experiential knowledge or having it as part of practical knowledge, what we will implement in day-to-day life for our own life is very, very important. But it starts somewhere. There is a starting point where we have faith in God, where we have faith in all the sacred texts, where we are in awe and really love the splendor of God. And that Jnatum will help us go forward to Drashtum, meaning we experience it. We, like Anna was saying, the inner experience. It is like the Drashtum, meaning we see within ourselves that same experience or that unique feeling of what the Lord is, and then taking it forward to become one with the Lord. So that kind of a thing can also say how directly to experience, yes, no doubt we have to directly experience, but that needs some starting point. So to know and then getting to experience and moving forward could help us possibly put it in that order. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Thank you. Yes, Brother Dasan, please go ahead.
Hi, Ram, brother. So in our day-to-day life, brother, when we listening to the bhajan or when we reading that spiritual books, we are getting love. We are connecting with the God. We are understanding new things, or we had some experience before. In this only two could be a Veda chanting. So in these tools, it will develop us to experience with the God. It's experience with the love. So when we are practicing, when you are reading and everything, when you're listening to the bhajan or singing the bhajan, we have to do it with the bhakti. Then you will definitely get the love and you can experience it. Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, brother, Sairam.
So you know how I think what was mentioned before that like we can never know Swami, or we can never fully understand or know God. But even if we don't know God completely, like if we try to learn some aspects of God or try to understand him, like that itself will give us prema, or only when we actually finally know him we will get that deep-rooted prema.
I think it's see, we should understand how our own love towards others develop in this world. Sometimes when you don't know something, we can easily fall in love. But we generally fall in love or we like something because some aspect of someone or something is pleasing to us. So that kind of knowledge takes us near the Lord. So is it full love? Maybe it is incomplete. But it is just budding. It can be a budding love. But for the love to bud, you need to have some knowledge, some information. Oh, this person is at least looking nice, or he's intelligent, or he's funny, or whatever. There are people giving different reasons why they are attracted to someone. So I think it's the same thing with God. So God gives so many different qualities which are pleasant, so pleasing, that we get attracted to him. And once we are attracted, then the love slowly blossoms. So, but is it complete love? I think the complete love is when we fully experience him. Until then, we think our love is complete and we may delude ourselves. I think that's my understanding, but I will ask others to share. I hope that they answered your question or just.
Yes, Uncle. No, that was, thank you.
Anyone else would like to share your thoughts, please? Because sometimes, I wanted, you take bhajans, they will say, oh, your eyes are very beautiful. Your, the face is so beautiful. Your hands are strong. But the reality is there are people who fall in love just because of the look of the nose or something like that. Or the eyes, how the eyes are looking very beautiful or something like that. That's human nature. Because we think, something reflects a quality of a person. Even the face is the index of the mind or whatever. So I think it's like that. So that's why even descriptions of the Lord, it's so devotees have gone into, all sorts of extent to describe the Lord, every part of the Lord. And even I think Lalita Sahasranamam, from head to toe, the mother is described. Because hopefully something will trigger love for some devotee somewhere. We chant 108 names. People just love one name, and then that can just trigger that love, the spark of love in everyone. I think so. It's like that. But still, a small spark is still a spark of love. It may not be a conflagration, and hopefully one day it will be a conflagration of love. Sai Ram, Sai Satish.
Yeah, Sairam, just adding to what you were saying, like we have that Madhurashtakam, where we have like every thing about the Lord is Maduram, Maduram, Maduram. We keep saying this is sweet, that is sweet. And what Swami says about that is like if you take a Mysore pak and you break one part of it, this is also whole in terms of its sweetness, and that is also whole in terms of its sweetness, like that Purnamada Purnamadam kind of a thing. So, like, just adding to what you were saying in terms of any facet, one thing of that which we hold on to Bhagavan, then that itself leads us to experience him in totality if we just keep at it. Just like we said, like either one facet of Bhagwan that attracts to us, or one thing that we pick up and say, Swami, this I will follow as much as possible at all times. So it's that kind of a thing. If we can hold on to, then experiencing that facet, that one facet itself will open up as a multifaceted thing, and we really feel that love swelling within us. Because I think, Anna, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Swami has told about Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Raja, Jnana Yoga, but he's also told like Raja Yoga and Parama Prema, right? So I was just wanting to see that aspect as well, where really if that pure unsullied love is there, that undercurrent itself takes one towards God, kind of a thing. I just
Yes.
wanted your thoughts on that.
Yes. Thank you, Sai Satish. Thank you. Yes, but I think Parama Prema is something which he's going to talk about in Geetha Vahini later on, I think. So yes, about love, totally all-consuming, the supreme love. Any other thought, idea, question?
What is Raja Prema? What Satish said now.
No, he's talked about Raja Yoga. I think Raja Yoga is what you mentioned, Satish, and Parama Prema.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Raja Yoga is, generally the Hatha Yoga, whatever, that's the Ashtanga Yoga.
Ashtanga Yoga, right.
Yeah, that also Krishna covers and Swami also covers. But Swami does not encourage too much because he says there's so many pitfalls. If it's pursued without bhakti, then it can land us into trouble.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sairam.
Uncle, you had given the analogy of how loving God is like when you meet someone and you are attracted to a part of them, but then maybe when you get to know them, you get to know their flaws as well. And then maybe your love isn't as strong or something like that. So with God, does that happen? Or like, does your love just keep growing? Like,
A very good question, Kalyani. I will ask others first before I venture, because I think once I speak, the others are not saying anything. So anyone else would like to share? So what happens, if you start just the way, human experience is that we see flaws in others, and that turns us off. And so how does the journey with in the growing of love towards the Lord progress? Would we come across similar situations, and what do we do with it, if at all?
Isn't it God is complete perfection? Human is error, but God is perfection, right?
But often people are disappointed with God also.
That is, they are ignorant of karmic situations. I think so. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. Anyone else would like to comment?
Sairam, brother. So suppose when you sing and for Auntie sing that any songs, even including the Vibhuti mantra, we connect to the God and we cannot express the love. But in the world we think is a 5 elements, only the body can feel that one. That is a different, can say. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Yes, Sister Shivani.
Can you repeat the question one more time, just to make sure what I heard is aligned with that?
The question, Auntie, Sister Kalyani's question?
Yeah.
The question is, in human relationships, when love buds, as we get to know the person more, we may also start to see the flaws in the person. And that sometimes puts a damper on our love. The love doesn't grow. Does it happen with God? Will it happen? And if at all, what do we do with it? Is the question.
Just to add like something like you, Uncle, you were saying earlier that it's not only the good that's God, but the bad is also
Exactly.
God. So
Exactly.
yeah, like when you see bad things or whatever, like, and you're trying to reconcile, how is this God? Is God in this? Like, yeah, that kind of.
Yes, very, yes, yes. Thank you, Kalyan.
So how you start seeing God in other people, where we start
No,
seeing
first,
flaws in them?
no, just to see God, just to develop love towards God, sister.
Oh, how to develop the love for God.
Yes. Won't we find the issues with God? I think that's the question. Because sometimes bad is also part of Him.
Absolutely.
So how do we develop love? I think that's Kalyan's question is, in spite of all this, how do we deal with something like that?
Just something I have learned from this study circle, and a little bit of how I kind of relate to it is, when Arjuna was asking so many questions, the doubts, I remember there was a topic where we were discussing the doubts Arjuna has. And there's a time when you should not have doubts. But what I have learned is you can have doubts even on Lord, like what he's saying flip-flopping here and there. Have those doubts, keep going on with that faith. Don't stop there, have it. And somehow along the line, and I'm saying from my own thing, I had so many doubts, and many times I have revealed here. I didn't start from childhood. I have to experience him. I have to doubt him so many years that I was at the cusp that, am I doing the right thing following him? So many, but keep going at it and keep reading and keep listening to, just if I have hold on to you, whether you're God or not, I have just, if there is God, he will find the way to reveal me, to save me from this person. But I found that he glued me to himself. The more I had doubt, the more I keep going on listening to bhajans and listening to his all, Sri Sathya Sai speaks of opportunities to just listen to his glory. I believe what I was 10 or 20 years ago is different now. So yeah, he's loving.
Thank you very much, Sister Shivani. Anyone else would like to?
Brother, if
Yes.
you have a strong faith, there won't be any doubt. So the faith, we have to develop the faith in order to have that's anything goes wrong, any bad thing happen, even you will take it positively to learn something good out of it. So the faith is the key. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you very much, sister.
Sairam, I don't know if this is way of thinking is correct. More and more I think about it, I think you'll see flaws or anything like that when you have love, if you have expectations. I think if there's no expectation, then, or I don't know if that's what you call unconditional love, but then nothing will matter. Like you won't see it. So I guess that could be faith or anything, but I think when you have expectations, you have disappointments. Disappointments will lead to believing and not believing. And I also believe that if you experience God, you won't unexperience it. So I don't know. It's my way of thinking.
Thank you, Narmada. Yes, Sister Shivani.
Just to add to that, and another layer to, when you start loving God, you start loving people, because then you see, oh, this person is also his child. Then you don't see whether people follow Christianity or Islam. You just see, oh, and this is another child of his. So how can that be wrong? Everything is perfect. So I guess the more we love him, the slowly we develop love. We start seeing, or we start feeling, oh, this is Swami's child as well. So how can that person be wrong or flawed? That's how the person is in my life. And you start accepting people.
Thank you very much, sister. Yes, sister. Yes, brother Sai Satish.
Sai Ramana. So 2 points to it. So one is when we see the beautiful moon, our mind or my mind will go and start seeing the dark spots on the moon. So the tendency is I forget the beauty of the moon, and as I get familiarized, I zoom in on the dark spots of the moon. Whether the dark spots of the moon are really there on the moon is one question, but I am beginning to see the dark spots. That is one aspect of it. The second is the unconditional love that was being talked about, where unconditional love calls for complete obedience and complete surrender. Where, like, one of the staff, when they had asked Swami in an interview, like Swami asked, ask me anything for anything. And this person said, no, Swami, you know best. And Swami kept saying, ask. And then this lecturer from Anantapur campus said, Swami, bless me with complete devotion to your lotus feet. And Swami said, wrong answer. And she was like, Swami, devotion is what we will ask from you. So then Swami went on to explain that because of devotion only you're here. What you should ask from me is complete obedience. And so when we have that unconditional love, it comes in with complete obedience to what Swami says, unflinching obedience and complete surrender. What Swami has said, that's it. We don't go back and put I don't go back and put my mind to it and ask, oh, could Swami have said this? Or could Swami have said that? Kind of an interpretation kind of a thing. Swami has said it, and then just go with that unconditional love. And of course, initially the mind comes back and keeps putting the thing, why should I do it? It fights. But if we keep going with that same persistence and with that same patience, with that same unconditional love, at one point in time, definitely Swami will respond to the thing. He will help us tame that monkey mind and really experience that unconditional love.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Yes, Sister Vijaya.
Sairam, I was just on that track as well. To ask Swami for, I know my journey is maturing the faith and the love, the bhakti for Swami, he will severely test each one and everyone. Don't flinch. The tests are severe. And several years ago when Swami did this, his Leela, the terrible slander against his name, right? I know I faced so many Sai brothers and sisters that I knew very well, and they were all from Swami's institution. Everybody was taking sides. But when you start asking for unflinching obedience, and Swami demands that, you see many people, they just fall by the wayside. Oh, this is not good. All the, things are said about Swami is true. It's all part of the test. But then if I ask myself, why didn't I believe it? I'm a rational person. It is something, his grace, Swami, you show me the way, and I'm just going to keep at it. So unflinching obedience to Swami is a requirement on the path. Saira, thank you.
Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else would like to share anything?
This is Sakuvanti. I would like to thank Sai Sadish for giving that point, complete obedience. When you have complete obedience, you will never get wavering mind. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much. Any other thoughts, please?
Just to say, yes, what the discussion is about, the obedience. And when I said I had doubts, I'm just kind of so excited to share it. Every wrong thing I could think of happened on Thursday. Imagine. We usually think Thursday is a very every wrong thing for so many years I could think of is Thursday. And I'm saying, oh, this God doesn't exist. That's what I'm talking about. And exactly what Brother Sai Satish said, the obedience. Just hold on to that and don't flinch. Just believe in his thinking. Doesn't matter. And we believe Thursdays are everything will be right happen and all of that. But for, I would say 7-8 years, anything happen and I'm like, I hope it won't happen on Thursday, and it will happen on Thursday. So just to share with you.
Thank you very much, sister. Fortunately, it is Sunday today.
It's just
So,
the test you is the test you go through, right? So just believe in me.
so okay. Anyone else has something to say? Since 4:16. So maybe I will. Everyone has shared, wonderful information. I will try to tie in with whatever we have read. Swami says Shraddha and Bhakti both are needed. He didn't say Bhakti alone is needed. He didn't say Shraddha alone is needed. I think the question from Kalyani is based on what do we do? And I think others have answered this question. I think Narmada said expectations are the problems in anything, even a human relationship. See, the expectations come because we have a selfish interest, selfish need. So the word love means actually it should be selfless. Swami says only if it's selfless, it is love. When it's selfless, there are no conditions. It is just love. So what happens? I think sometimes we see flaws only because of the flaws in our own eye, and so that requires some work. And I think with the Lord, when we have doubts, as Sister Shivana says, on Thursdays or any other days, we should hold on to faith. And the obedience part is actually, you are obedient only if you have faith in somebody. If somebody has said, do this, when you have faith in what that person and what that person has said, you will stick, come what, you will stick with, and you will stick with obedience. So that is Shraddha. Without Shraddha, we will never be obedient to anyone. When we allow, out of love, we do a lot of things. But when that is sort of question mark, then Shraddha has to come into play. So I think the only way we can traverse this path of spirituality is to have Shraddha as well as Bhakti. But the saving grace with our relationship with God is unlike the human beings who have an expectation, or they may also have their own selfish interest. God is not worried about anything. God is not asking for anything. God wants only your welfare. So He will be there, never deserting us. We may try to run away, but the Lord will not run away. As Swami says, once you are in my fold, I will never forsake you. You can live on the, Guttamido Nana, like that, there's a nice padyam where, whether you are in the bottom of the earth or whether you are at the top of the earth, whether you're in the ocean or whether you're in the sky, I will always be with you. I will never forsake you. That is what God is. Because we don't even realize, even if you're breathing, God is with us. If you're able to, if you're able to walk, if you're able to talk, if you're able to think, God is with us. Without Him, we can't even function. So that type of relationship is there with God. So He is a person with whom we can have a love, which is the only thing which can go wrong is ourselves. That is God, because He will not expect anything. He doesn't have anything for Himself. He is only looking out for us, and He will wait patiently. He has ultimate patience to wait for us to turn around and come back if we run away. So through all this, we should be able to deal with any tests or challenges or hurdles which come in our way in growing that love with God. So I think everyone has touched various aspects. So I thought it was wonderful to listen to everyone sharing their thoughts. And that's my short summary of what I learned from everyone. It's 4:20. If there's any other comment or thoughts or questions, please speak up.
Just a line about where it says, know that there is nothing further for you to know. but we know that, after Arjuna received the Bhagavad Gita, I don't think he became like an enlightened person. And like, I know, like, he even later, there like the time when he wanted Krishna to get off the chariot first. So why is Swami saying there is nothing further for you to know after this, like after teaching this?
Auntie, just దీనిని తెలుసుకున్న తర్వాత నీవు తెలుసుకొనవలెను మరి ఒక్కరి. That's the auntie.
Yeah, she is. నాకంటే అధికమైనది మరి ఏ లోకమునము లేదు. దారమునందలి పూసల వలె అన్నియు నా యందే చేరి ఉన్నవి. So that is the Swami is saying, లోకములో వేలాది సాధకులలో ఏ ఒక్కడో మాత్రము నా ఉండును అట్టి ప్రయత్నించు.
Above that, auntie, she's asking, దీనిని తెలుసుకున్న means if you know this,
నీవు తెలిసి కొనవలసిన మరి ఏ ఒకటి మిగిలి ఉండదు. There is nothing left, మిగిలి ఉండదు.
So Kalyani, the question is, I think the translation doesn't do full justice.
Yeah, correct.
తెలిసి కొనవలసి ఉన్నది, that means something for you to get to know. You understand? There's nothing more you need to get to know. Not that you already know.
No.
I think that's where the question is.
Yeah.
So the question is, it is not that Arjuna already knows. There's nothing else that you need to know.
You need to.
Okay, so that means know this, and after that you don't need to know anything. But that does not mean Arjuna knew it.
Okay.
I think. Okay.
If you know this, then
love my uncertainty. So
no, Swami has never said that, sister.
Why not?
You get me one book where Swami has made that statement, I will accept. See, these are things which are words attributed to Swami, which Swami has never spoken.
I was talking because of in Dharma Vahini, Swami said, you will come to know quarter of it, and 3/4 you won't come to know. Yes. So don't try to understand even. So that's the reason. That is
not uncertainty.
So okay. So maybe that uncertainty thing won't come, but there are things we don't come to know.
The only thing certain in this world is God. So this is you can show me what the source of this is. I will appreciate.
Brother,
you can
I know
all the discourses. You can scar all the Vahinis. These words have never been spoken by Swami.
Okay.
Sai Ram, Aruna, there's no uncertainty in when it comes to God. He is certain. Everything is certain, and he is the only certain person, absolute. But what I want to say is, only you can understand him completely when you merge with him. But you will not be coming back to tell us how you feel about him. So merging with him will give you complete knowledge. Even the balance of things that you didn't understand, everything will come to know. Thanks, Saira.
Thank you. But brother said, I agree with that. But
sorry, sister,
because
see, this is a statement which people keep on repeating. Swami says, love my uncertainty, love my uncertainty. But the thing is, you will not find a single discourse or it's any sentence in the Vahini where Swami has spoken this. Of course, then you may ask, how did this come about? So maybe I will, because I have done some research on this, because I couldn't believe that Swami said this. So I went to the root of where this thing came. So I will say that also here. Otherwise, I don't want that to be uncertain. Okay. So see, this sentence is in Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Okay. How is it in Satyam Shivam Sundaram? So Satyam Shivam Sundaram, Kasturi Garu is talking about a devotee who came and narrated to him something. So what this devotee, actually he was having some challenges in his life. Apparently he was tired, or he was really frustrated with everything. One day he slept. when he slept, apparently in that dream, Swami appeared. And in the dream, Swami appeared, and Swami is supposed to have said something. So when this person woke up, he tried to recollect his dream, and he recollected these words as Swami says, "You love my uncertainty." Okay, so this devotee explained this to Kasturi Garu. Kasturi Garu wrote that in the Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Okay, the thing is, there are so many things which related to that devotee and what happened. But everyone, so this sentence was picked up by Samuel Sandys, and in one of his books he quoted that. Okay, so people have read it, and now it has become the standard slogan in many places. Whenever we are disappointed, we'll say Swami says, "Love my uncertainty." But the reality is, Swami in life, in flesh and blood, has never spoken this. Okay, this. See, what God says is called Shruti. What somebody else remembers is called Smriti. Okay, the Smriti cannot overtake Shruti. So, okay, somebody remembered something in a dream. You know, you can't. I'm not saying that was the experience of the devotee, no doubt. But the problem is, if we take that as a statement from Swami, then we are saying Swami is an uncertain person. We cannot be certain. God is the most certain thing. So that's why I take objection to this word, because if somebody is not steady, how can you love him? He says you can't depend on the person. But God is the most dependable person. He is certain to come to your rescue. He will certain to look after you. So we cannot say he is uncertain. So that's, I'm sorry, it may be my personal opinion, but
No,
I thought
brother.
I will share that. Okay.
No, brother, that makes sense. But I always related that to the 3/4 of the things that we don't come to know in the world. Only according to Dharma Vahini, we come to know only quarter.
Yes, I understand. But
so
then
that is the part I put it as an answer.
But we cannot say uncertain.
Okay.
We can say we don't know.
That is clear. Yeah.
We don't know what God has in mind. I think that's a different way of putting it. If we say use the word uncertain, that means he is not dependable.
I was referring that to the 3/4. Okay, I can
Words,
change that.
Words matter.
Thank
Sorry,
you, Saira.
I'm very sorry for speaking, but I thought we have to be
that's
very
right,
clear.
brother. Because
When we
Swami
make
is the dependable person. How can you say uncertain? Then that takes away whole purpose of it. Yeah.
You cannot have Shraddha on a person who you can't
that's
depend
right.
on. Okay.
Thank you.
That is why I said, I understand. See, sometimes we mean something, we say something, but what we say matters. And we need to be very clear. So if we have to have Shraddha, we can only have Shraddha in a person who is completely certain to come to our rescue. He is totally dependable. Okay, sorry, I hope I have not put my personal opinion on this. Sorry if others feel that Swami is uncertain.
You don't need to be sorry. It makes 100% makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sister. Yes, Brother Dasan, please go ahead.
Sairam, brother. Here, the sentence, know that there is nothing further for you to know mean. Am I right or wrong? I don't know. So that means you don't think about anything, whether you can go for the Dhyana Yoga or Jnana Yoga. Whatever I told you now, listen to that one, have the faith and practice and do it. That's the meaning of that one, or am I right or I don't know? That's the meaning.
I think first of all, we need to fully understand what he says, I think, brother.
Yes.
I think that was the question which Sister Kalyani brought up. Even though Krishna personally taught Arjuna, but Arjuna had issues later on also.
Yes.
And apparently after a few years, he came to Krishna and said, Krishna, on the battlefield, you taught me something. Can you repeat it, please? So Krishna is actually repeating it also. So, but I think we also read and study, but until we fully understand and internalize, we don't need to go looking for some new
exactly
teaching. I think that's what I think.
That's correct.
Yes, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, I said yes. Thank you. Yes,
yeah,
brother.
Sairamana, I was just going to say that information is provided 100%. Whether that leads to transformation is under question. So that is the only thing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's 4:30. I'm sorry, I took up too much time at the end, but we'll continue our discussion next week. Sai Ram, everyone. We'll close with Samastaloka if it's okay. Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Sai Ram.
Jai Sai
Jai
Ram.
Ram. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sai
Sai Ram.
Thank you.